edition of Mr. Walker's Podcast with your host, Mr. Walker. Live and direct. We are back again, running this thing solo, dolo as usual. Looking forward to a couple new guests coming in the next couple weeks. My 50th show is coming up soon. Looking forward to that. I would have never thought that I would be at 50 episodes or on the heels of 50 episodes. But we are very close to that number, and looking forward to the following year. My 1 year anniversary is coming up. I've been ripping and running. I believe it was May 31st. So 1 year anniversary we will be celebrating on the show. I might even have a little shindig somewhere. But yeah, we are ripping and running. I'm betting on myself like you should. I know what I'm going to do. I know the effort that I put into this thing and all the hard work and dedication. And whether or not I have a co-host, guest, or whatever, the show must continue. Here we are again. So, some things I just want to discuss. I think this is going to be a quick one, but I figured, get right to the point of some things that I want to discuss. And give you something to think about as well. First off, this Ja Morant kid. To those that don't know who he is a young 23 or 24-year-old Memphis Grizzlies basketball player. Young kid. He was suspended a few months back for flashing a gun on social media. And he was just suspended again. The first time was because he flashed a gun on his social media page. This time around, he flashed a gun on his friend's social media page. And the NBA is suspending him again. Social media, but first, let's talk about him, or the NBA period. When you sign that contract, you are basically signing away your rights or your privilege to be a free man, or think free, act free, do whatever it is that you please. These people giving away a bunch of money to these young kids, and you are basically signing away your life until you retire. So you're under the microscope and you have to act accordingly. They're not giving away millions and millions of dollars to just any and everybody, myself included, with other people I know from the neighborhood, tried their hardest to get to that league. And when you get there, it is things that you have to, rules that you have to abide by. You can't just go off and do what you want to do, say, and sometimes even think. So with that being said, getting on social media and flashing a gun, or in Paul Pierce situation, he was out of the league at the time, but he had like strippers in his presence. I believe he was working for ESPN or something like that, some sort of network, where they didn't agree with his choice of not just the strippers, but the things that he was doing in his free time. But social media could be tricky for those that don't have a filter. Your page should be filled with things that you can share and you won't be embarrassed about sharing. Posting guns, posting money, posting drugs, posting jewelry, it brings unwanted attention. Jewelry, cars, money, pounds of weed, depending on what neighborhood you come from, it's only bait on the hook for the people that want those things. Especially the people that know where you live, they know where you frequent, you know, they know your routine. They know that you got money, you always keep a wad of money in your pocket, jewelry, whatever. To the people that don't have that, and they know where you're gonna be, how you function, where you live, what do you think that they would turn to? And better yet, where do you think that they're coming when they're starving? When they're starving, you better believe that you will be first on the list. And then, you know, you always heard the term feed the wolves. But wolves aren't to be house pets. Not even house pets. You can't befriend a wolf. So to the people that feed the wolves, they're wild animals. How could you ever think that that wild animal could be tamed? So, you know, to all the people that post those crazy things on Instagram or social or any sort of social media platform, gotta be dead crazy to believe that people aren't watching. And to the gangsters, well, I wouldn't even call them gangsters. To the people that portray, front, that want to be gangsters so bad and have the opportunity to be one or to act like one on social media, flashing guns or talking about things that you were privy to, you know, whether you was around or you got firsthand information on some things. There are police on social media. I know this firsthand because I know of someone, that family member is a detective that surfs social media sites and actually make pages of women with fat asses, big titties, nice bodies, and sneaker pages, jewelry pages, to have people frequent the page, to start talking crazy to the women that they believe is this particular woman because of her post, her profile picture, or the things that she's posting. And the whole time you are responding to these pictures and shorty's DM, building a relationship with her, after so many DMs you send her, she finally responds. Well, you think it's her that responded when it's actually a detective. Find out the neighborhood you from, and you have like a location. Well, they have like locations where, so say if a detective is a detective in a certain area, state, town, they have a way where they can program their profile to focus on a particular area. And all you got to do is use hashtags. Hashtag Brooklyn, hashtag Harlem, hashtag the Bronx, or even put hashtag the projects you are from the Bronx. People are going to respond to that, especially if it's a page that they believe belongs to this particular woman in the profile picture. People will then begin to respond to that shit. Yo, shorty, yo, let me holler at you, yo, you from so-and-so projects? I live right down the street. You probably know my man, he run those projects. That's exactly how it goes. Yo, he's so-and-so, so-and-so. And like I told y'all in the other podcast, yo, his name Murder. His name Killer. His name Homicide. And then the detective responds back. Because one of those names was involved in a murder, a homicide. He's known to be a killer. So now he responds back. And that's how the conversation begins. And to the kids flashing money and the sneakers and things like that. I'm telling you now, it's people less fortunate that want the things that you have. You got to be real careful on social media. What are some things that you might have posted on social media that you regret posting? For me, you know, I regret posting at times relationships that I might have been in. Posting, especially in the dating part of the relationship. When you guys just started dating, vibing, and you might be going out to dinner and things like that. To be posting who you're going out with could be kind of, it could be kind of reckless, because you two are definitely trying to build something, right? You're trying to get to know one another. And you don't want anyone to kind of like get in between that. So you would want to guard your relationship with shorty, especially in the beginning, from social media. You wouldn't want anybody to interfere. And that's why I personally wouldn't post who I'm dating, who I'm going out to dinner with, because it's always a hater out there that knows this girl or knows of her. But the guys that know of her will then begin to spread lies or send you a DM just hating. No matter what this woman was prior to you, shouldn't matter to a certain degree. For some guys, not all. But that is why I believe you shouldn't post on social media until that shit is solid, where you and her actually built a relationship that has trust in it and a bunch of other things. But you know, I can't listen. Every guy, I believe, has an ego, a big ego. Some guys do, but you know, I know that you would want to be protected, or you want that ego to be protected as well. So of course you wouldn't want to date a whore that slept with the town, or fucking with someone that currently, is promiscuous. You know what I'm saying? So, but at what point do you say, I'm gonna look over the past and go forward with this woman anyway, no matter what she was prior to you? Is it ever a point where you will be like, you know what, she was what she was, but she is what she is now, and if what she is now succeeds or trumps what she used to be, would you still date her? That's a great question. The amount of traffic that lies, no, better yet, the amount of traffic that you can get from posting your significant other, especially in a dating stage of it, could be people just come by your page just to see, right? Just to, no comments being left, just to see what you're up to. Not to congratulate you on the love that you found, not championing you on, with the love that you two share. Just, hate from a distance, and to begin tarnishing your situation if you allow them to. sometimes that shit could get the best of you, you know, where you are bothered by certain things that are being said. And I'm not saying that people don't do this, or I haven't done it, or a woman hasn't done it to me, but looking at who's commenting under certain pictures of your significant other, I think everybody has done that at least once. And I've done that in the past, and that shit is just like an appetite for destruction. Like, it's you setting yourself up, because we all have been here where you seen a text message from the opposite sex to the person that you're with, and it could just read, "Thank you for helping my daughter sell her Girl Scout cookies." But that girl, when she's going through the phone, instead of the text message saying that, in her mind, through her eyes, the shit says, "Come get this Girl Scout cookie," in a seductive monotone. Listen, that's why you shouldn't read text messages or even read comments under your significant other's pictures. You're gonna always look at the comments or the text messages and put a voice to that shit and read that shit different than what it says. We all have done it at least once in our life. It's another thing. I want to end it with something. Like I told y'all, this was going to be a short one. But I wrote down some of the social media sites that I could remember through the course of the years. And hopefully you guys could think of some as well. But the ones that I was probably on from back in the day was MySpace. I think everybody had a MySpace. I don't know if I ever dealt with Twitter. I don't think I ever. But it just seems so boring to me. Like, so boring. I heard of these other sites like High Five, Vine, Friendster, Tumblr, Bebo, and Bolt. Bolt was back in the day. Like, shit, that might have been before 2000. But I think that was more for people like in the business world, where you could share larger files, maybe perhaps like people that were in like the music business. But we talking about just regular social media sites. You know, we could all talk about Black Planet and things but those were more for like hooking up. Whenever you open like a Black Planet or POF, Plenty of Fish, it was for more of like the dating. But everybody uses social media to slide into people DMs. Like I said before on a previous show, a lot of people use Instagram and Facebook to get to people that they probably wouldn't have a chance to. It's just, it extends your arm. It's a longer reach. You know what I mean? So you could get somebody in a different state through social media. If your page looks a certain way, you look a certain way, you know, that you probably wouldn't have the chance to meet. But is that even right? Like, should you use Instagram or Facebook to chase women? And if so, how do you talk to someone through social media? If you're interested in the way they look or the style or whatever the case may be, How do you approach talking to someone, trying to holler at them, getting to know them on social media? Is it a way? Me personally, I think it's the corniest shit in the world to try to holler at somebody through social media. Especially if you don't know them at all. If you know a friend of a friend, you can send a message. But just like, for me, I'm not saying, this is my own personal opinion. You know what? I take back this shit being corny. It's just so weird. It's just so weird to do. I couldn't even coach someone on how to holler at someone through social media, to talk to someone through social media. I wouldn't even begin to know like how somebody could do it. It's weird, it's bugged out, but you know, I commend the people that shoot their shots all the time. That take a lot of balls. I've known of some success stories that, like relationships that got started through social media, and they're still rocking till this day. I know of one that was built off of a lie. The woman wound up having a baby with someone that she assumed to be this particular person. So she took the bait. I was like, damn, you know, but could you feel sorry for a person like that? And they are no longer together, but she got a baby out of it because he was lying so great on social media that she believed it. Holding his man's car, wearing his people's jewelry. And I even believe that he borrowed his man's apartment twice. He smashed on the first night, and I believe the second night, she said that's when she got pregnant. She decided to keep it. 6 months, 7 months in, she found out that this man was broke. He actually lived at home. And right before they met, he was fired from his job. Putting the guilt trip, not even the guilt trip, but his friends feeling sorry for him, you know, trying to pick him up, make him feel good about himself. So they loaning him the car, giving him a couple dollars to hang out with some women, helping to lie. And this particular girl took the bait, and she wound up with a baby. I believe the guy is doing his thing now. He's on his feet, still living at home, and she is a single mother getting $25, $30 a week for child support, all because of social media. Damn. So, be careful, ladies and gentlemen, out there with this social media thing. It's tricky. It's a bunch of fucking liars. And you gotta be real careful. Go over a few resumes, especially if somebody's in your DM and you are open to dating someone from social media. Go through the goddamn resumes. Do your homework. You understand what I'm saying? Even if you like the way this guy look, you know somebody from his neighborhood, ask a question. That could backfire as well. You got to ask a question to maybe just ask the general questions. Does he have a job? Does he live alone? Especially if you're asking another man. Does he have a job and does he live alone? And you might even ask, does he have some kids? But that's something that you could find out on your own. You know what I mean? No real man, no real man is gonna lie about their kids. That's if you're up to trying to date someone from social media. Other than that, dub them. DMs, friend requests that you don't dub. So that's where we're gonna end the show. So with that being said, this is another episode of Mr. Walker's podcast, and I hope that you will continue to take this ride with me. I really appreciate it. It's like we starting all over again. You know, I'm taking the risk or losing the chance, and I'm betting on my motherfucking self. I know what I'm capable of doing. We are going to sign out with "We Rollin' Bitches."